Ladies, close in the ranks. Protect the king. I am the king. As the wife said.
The Beavers take Edel Camp to Scotland.
Oh, sixpence none the richer.
There we go.
Welcome to Edinburgh. We arrived on Sunday and headed to church. We're headed to church at St. Mary's Cathedral, right here in Edinburgh. We just had the most beautiful service and communion. This cathedral was built in 1872. So it's in memory of the officers non-commissioned and men of the Royal Scots who died in the 1st Battalion. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's one huge organ. Right over there. So Emma's writing a prayer for the prayer tree. Would you write your prayer? You put it on the prayer tree. Our first experience in Scotland was going to the Cathedral of Eucharist. The cathedral is absolutely stunning. It goes on and on and on. Sampled some of the apartments downtown here in Edinburgh. If you want to come over here and lease an apartment, there's one right here on the main street. Check out that ivy growing up the wall. Downtown of the town square. This is the Coates Crescent Gardens. We're headed to go shopping. It's the Rat Pack Piano Bar. I wonder if Sammy Davis Jr. played there, or Dean Martin. The clock tower rings right beside the castle. We're sightseeing. We're at the National Gallery and they have free admission here. One of your side streets, back behind some of the apartments. Pretty rustic. Those are the Caledonian or the Waldorf Astoria, or the buses.
And once you're past that church, you just quickly get your first view of Edinburgh Castle towering above us. The house we've just passed there on the left, you have a blue door. That was the former home of Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell, of course, responsible for the telephone. That's a statue of the Duke of Wellington, who defeated Napoleon in 1815 at the Battle of Waterloo. Number 17 Heriot Road, there's a red door. That's the former home of Robert Louis Stevenson. Robert Louis Stevenson, of course, that gave the world Treasure Island, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. With a small mountain over in the background, that's called Arthur's Seat. That's around 900 feet high. Around 380 million years ago, that was 3 times higher. That is a former volcano. So welcome to Edinburgh Castle. If you look behind you, just have a look behind you, have a look at that rock. That is volcanic rock. The castle is built on part of a former volcano. Edinburgh was an extremely volcanic area around here. So when we go inside the castle, as guides, there is some guiding regulations. So a lot of you will want to take photographs of the entrance to the castle. So the streets that we are walking on are very, very old. In the middle section is what we call cobblestones. Cobblestones are mixed stones. What we are walking on, these are called steps. It's called the St. Margaret's Chapel. And it's named after a queen. Queen Margaret. And who Queen Margaret was, she was an English princess who was fleeing England in the 1060s following following the occupation of William the Conqueror.
About 1130, oldest building in Edinburgh Castle. Wow, stained glass window.
And this is just the entry to the restroom.
Here in David's Tower, the crown jewels were buried. Edinburgh's Castle, this is the north wall of David's Tower. So what are they drilling and looking for the crown jewels? Oh, Carrie's stuck in David's Tower. She's looking for the crown jewels. Wrong place. This is the main water supply. It's 44 meters deep, but it was never enough water to meet the level that they needed.
You can hear the echo just by putting your voice here.
So we're at the top where we were looking. We were at the bottom a few minutes looking up at this flag. That was pretty cool. The 4-well battery, 1544. It was rebuilt by the King James I. It was rebuilt by King James V on the line of the medieval defenses. The guns were made about 1810. Mons Meg, the world's most famous medieval gun. These are some big balls, big cannonballs. Here we are looking at Edinburgh from the castle. Beautiful views. Forgot again. Built in 1615. Now that's old. How amazing.
This was a royal chapel situated within the castle. It's been rebuilt during various time frames.
This is the Scottish National War Memorial. We're gonna go inside. We can't take any pictures in here. We want to make sure we honor those who have passed protecting the country. I wish I could have taken you with me to the memorial. It was absolutely gorgeous. We are in the Great Hall. I said this Great Hall was built for Lorraine, the mother of Mary, Queen of Scots, for a wedding present. Oh, look at the ceiling. Wow. Wow. Edinburgh from the castle. Wow, look at the mountains behind the city. Now this is an old street. The Edel campers are going up in Edinburgh, Scotland. Right there. A quick look at Victoria Street. This is Victoria Street. This was the inspiration for Diagon Alley and Harry Potter books. Okay, check out that walking bridge. I'm in love. This is Greyfriars Bobby. He was made a citizen of Edinburgh as he laid watch over his master's cemetery for over 12 years. January 1872. I think this is the cemetery the tour guide was talking about. Greyfriars Bobby died 14th January 1872. Aged 15 years. Very loyal and devoted dog. We're gonna go into the Greyfriars Bobby and have a snack.
This was a hospital.
Oh.
This was the hospital.
There used to be wards. It's now classrooms for college. We're staying at Leonardo Royal Hotel, Edinburgh City Centre. It's really pretty on the inside. Scotland by night.
His bloody sea rustic Lomond and cuts you were ready slut, guessing you're going to the trail like Honey Tits, and there you go. What a glorious sight. Wow, Hurricane and rich and hot.
I'm okay, thank you for your concern, though.
Very handsome. Yes. And say, oh my gosh, it's embarrassing. Thank you. Thank you.
We're getting ready to leave Edinburgh and head on to our next adventure.
It's a big brown signpost and it says directions for Scotland's secret bunker. Up to Culloden. Jamie Fraser's grandfather, the Lord Lovat,
took part in the battle. He was one of the clan chieftains of that time, of the Fraser clans, the new course, Clubhouse Jubilee. There's also a lovely beach here. Did anybody ever watch the film Chariots of Fire? That's the beach they used in Chariots of Fire. Okay, and then they jumped over the fence and they ran over the first tee in the 18th green. Sacrilege.
Wessex Hotel across from St. Andrews Golf Course. To play a round of golf here, there's a 2-year waiting list. Any golf fans out there? Welcome to St. Andrews, the oldest golf course in the world. Who would not want to golf by the sea? If we have any golf lovers out here, you can't beat checking out St. Andrews. I'm window shopping and the girls are shopping. St. Andrews Lakes. A little golf pro shop. Hard to believe the oldest golf course is right behind me. Once one group goes, she invites the next to come on. So they have to get their famous picture before teeing off. Oh, we have to warm up. I'm learning a lot about golf just sitting there. Which one of you ladies wanted to hear 18 holes up there? No. The R&A Golf Museum right here at St. Andrews. Tide's low today. This is where they filmed Chariots of Fire. Is St. Andrews on your bucket list? Let us know in the comment sections below.
And there's an interesting art installation. It's just over to our left-hand side. You'll get a closer look at it when we come off the bridge. It's at 11 o'clock just now, and it could be one of two things. And it's art, so it's really entirely up to yourselves to make up your own mind what it actually is. It may be a whale that's breaching, or it could be a penguin that's breaching. Again, to do with the whaling fleet or discovery, but it's just here on our left-hand side, and we'll go right round past it. I think it's quite beautiful actually, but you can make your own minds up what it actually is meant to be. The River Tay down to your left-hand side there. Imagine this for me, okay? The year is 1920, okay? Your name is Georgina Balentine. You're 32 years old. You've just come back from the Western Front where you've been a nurse during the First World War. You've seen some awful things. Your father is the local bailiff for the water bailiff for this area. But you go out fishing this day with your uncle. Okay, and you come down to the river, it's not far from here, and you cast out your line and you fish. And after about an hour you get a bit of a nibble on the end of your line. And you catch a hook into the jaw of this, into the mouth of this fish. You start playing it. 2.5 hours you fight this fish, and after 2.5 hours you're exhausted. You land a 64-pound salmon, the largest line-caught salmon in British history. 64 pounds, Georgina Balentine. Still, that record still stands today, ladies and gentlemen.
Time for some coffee and shopping, or tea and shopping, or hot chocolate and shopping. Thinking hot chocolate. So we are shopping in the town of Pitlochry. Lots of lovely shops here. We just finished shopping and having lunch at Pitlochry, and we're off to another adventure.
10 o'clock, the carnage started. Bonnie Prince Charlie decided that morning to take control of the battle himself, and he sat aboard his horse, and his men stood and took cover. There's 50 bricks here. Every brick that is sticking out represents a life lost on the Hanoverian forces. 50. That's what 2000 looks like.
Oh.
That's what a massacre looks like.
We're headed out to the Culloden battlefield. Carrie is on a mission to find her clan. Wish us some success.
Yeah, it says, we follow you to this ocean of flatness and bullets.
Got it.
You know, it's sad. We know their bodies were laid all around here.
The Battle of Culloden was fought on this moon, 16th of April, 1746. The blue's the Jacobite line, and the government front line is red. April 16th, 1746. Remembering the clan graves and memorial. The field of the English, they were buried here.
win.
I saw that.
Not about you. Shrubbery. I mean, it's all the rain now, and the rain doesn't get through. Did you see me trying to build one?
Definitely made for short people.
I didn't even look at that.
Check out the sunset coming down over the battlefield of Culloden. Our next hotel is the AC Hotel in Inverness. It's just 18 months old and still smells brand new. And there's Carrie down at the bottom of our hotel room window. I guess she's waiting for us to come out and play.
Yeah.
Let's go play. We're going to go on Church Street where all the restaurants and stores are. Looking to go in the Highlander and catch some music. Just a glance down Church Street. We're down here in Inverness City Center. This is Inverness Castle in the city center of Inverness.
Loch Ness is slightly different. There's a small village just round the corner here, over the other side. It's called Doors. Okay, that's where most of the sightings take place. It's usually around about 11 at night when the pub closes, but that's beside the point. Also a great photo stop of a place called Urquhart Castle. This is a ruin, ladies and gentlemen. The first castle that was built here was actually built by Edward I at the end of the 1200s. And then it was changed and added to and garrisoned at different times. This one here, though, was destroyed in 1745, not by the Jacobites, but it was actually destroyed by the government. So it could not be taken by the Jacobites and used against them, and hence why it was blown up. It was supposed to be rebuilt afterwards, but the government never decided it wasn't worth it. Castles had done their time by then, and so it's left as a ruin since then.
We're looking at Glenfinnan. Absolutely beautiful. Look at this. It's stunning. We even have snow-capped hills, snow-capped mountains. They're looking right at the Hogwarts Express from Harry Potter. Check out the mountains of Glencoe.
The Glencoe Visitor Centre. They have a really nice reconstruction of a period cottage going back to the late 1600s. They've rebuilt. They're definitely worthwhile to go and have a look at. But they've also got a very interesting geological display there on the formation of the mountains of the West Highlands and such like.
The scenery surrounding our hotel is absolutely stunning outside of Glencoe. There's even a little bridge right outside our hotel. Look at those mountains and all the clouds are blowing over. This hotel is nostalgic. Tonight's hotel looks like a miniature castle. It is phenomenal inside, just the right blend of old and new. Inside the hotel, there's a nice parlor. Carrie's playing the grand piano for us. Oh, look at the view from the window. This is my kind of sitting room. And everywhere I go, there's more and more bridges. So tonight we're going into the town, checking out the local pub, having a few drinks, and listening to some music. Tonight we're having drinks and music at the Glencoe Gathering.
To bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the sun is done, we'll take our leave and go.
There's a lovely bridge, one of General Weed's bridges. It's a ruined bridge, but it's a fantastic picture stop. Rapids coming down under the water. Yeah, it'll be quite pretty today.
There's St. Columba as well. It's believed that a large spring has been on this site since early Victorians until the 6th century AD.
It looks like they're staring into the distance, but they're not. Their eyes are actually staring directly at Berlin. But there's also another memorial there to the special forces who have been lost since the Second World War. This is also the chance of seeing Ben Nevis. We're not going to see Ben Nevis. Ben Nevis is our highest mountain. It stands up, it goes from sea level right up to 4,409 feet, which isn't the highest of mountains, but again, you're seeing it coming up from sea level. It's one of these mountains where if you're lucky, 12 days of the year you can see the top. However, that didn't stop them in 1890 from building an observatory on the top. Considering it's covered in cloud all year round, it's optimistic. It actually stayed open for 5 years, but it's now a ruin on top now. I've been up there a few times, but we won't see it stay. The clouds are way too low. But the Nevis Range across there, those are the highest mountains we have in Scotland, in Britain actually, highest mountains in Britain.
We're at one of Scotland's national parks. All right, we can go up and take a hike, but we only have 25 minutes here, so we're gonna go down by the water. We're at Loch Lomond, Scotland National Park.
Did you want your picture taken? You're so cute.
The robins here look different than ours. They're so pretty.
Water hydro plant. Let's do a selfie of this one.
Aw, Ducky.
Oh, he did it. Good.
Oh, you got it?
I got him.
Oh, it's clear though.
Took a dive. It's pretty clear. I don't think I get it, but that's a huge chain. Do you feel secure with all those big, thick chains, Emma? I think it's just a walkway to a viewpoint of the Loch Ness. So there you can take a cruise of Loch Lomond. So we were able to climb up to the top after all. We climbed up here to see an amazing vantage point of Loch Lomond. It was worth coming up to the top and taking advantage of this viewpoint. What was I gonna say? There's lots of places to explore for here. Be cool to take a little kayak down through there. Okay, we see RVs everywhere we go, baby. Shopping in the city square at Oban, overlooking the harbor of Oban. Absolutely stunning. And there's palm trees in Scotland too, you know. Can you believe he wanted his family to put all stained glass in there? Holy cow.
This is the Catholic Church Cathedral in front of us here. That's where Princess Diana's mother was a member of the congregation there. She lived on Seal Island, just south of us here.
So you need to come to Scotland and try a little bit of Scottish whiskey and take a tour. This is a distillery that are the new kids on the block.
The very first thing that we're gonna try is not a whiskey at all. It's more like an embryo of a whiskey. So go ahead, have a taste. Not really, yeah.
How was it?
Yeah. The next thing that we're gonna have, the first whiskey that we're gonna taste. This has been aged in a bourbon cask. First thing we're gonna do is pick up our glass. Then we swirl around the liquid in the glass, kind of like a wine tasting. It releases those aromas. When you have smelled it, you have a good idea. Go ahead and give it a taste. Don't drink all of it at once. The water brings out oils that are currently stagnant in the whiskey. Our spirit aged in a sherry cask.
Thank you.
All right. Tasting it all on your own.
It's like Flaming Hot.
Okay, there we go.
It's like my people.
Getting ready to start a distillery tour. Can't come to Scotland without getting a dram of scotch. In this case, you'll find your most expensive Scotch whiskey. Everywhere you go, there are sheep. We're in Glasgow and going out on the town. The roads big Scotland. Hello, Glasgow. Shopping at Glasgow at night. Love the lights. And Doctor Who. On our way to Glasgow Airport.